Hey guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sad about something today. I'm really sad about the fact that you're probably not using your trekking pole straps right. You dummy. That's a common beginner backpacking mistake. And we're gonna talk about it. We're also gonna talk about 4 more common beginner backpacking mistakes. It adds up to 5. And we're not just gonna go over those 5, in fact, because I threw a post out on my channel asking my subscribers to list their, common beginner backpacking mistakes, and actually got some really good ones there, so we're gonna go through those too. So make sure you watch until the end of the video and make sure you subscribe so the next time I post like that, your comment, your ideas can end up being ripped off and stolen by me and end up in one of these ridiculously stupid videos. Anyways, let's talk about some trekking pole straps, okay? Let me grab my pole. You see this little guy? You are probably not using your trekking pole straps right. I guess I shouldn't make that assumption. I'm sure a lot of you are. And the truth is, this is probably one of the dumber things I've ever said in a video, but it's been a pet peeve of mine, even though it literally does not affect me at all in any way, shape, or form, I will admit. You see the strap right here, okay? What you don't want to do, and what I see a lot of people doing, is they put their hand down in from the bottom like this, and then they grab the trekking pole like this. It's like, it still like holds it to your hand a little bit, like I get it, but the truth is, when you go to push down and put weight on it, you have no leverage from the strap really. You have to like grip the pole pretty tight in order to get that leverage. But if you do it the other way, the way that I think is correct, and other people seem to think, very, very smart people, a lot of smart people agree with me. What you do is instead of going down in the strap, like I just showed, you go up like that, and then you come down and you grab it like that. So now you can see the strap. And the thing is now, when I go to use this trekking pole, okay, I can use my hand as leverage. Like I'm pushing down right now and I'm getting all that leverage, all that strength, and I don't even really have to grip the pole that hard. Of course, you still wanna put your hand a little bit, but just to demonstrate, like I'm pushing down right now, full leverage, hand's not even fully gripped around the pole. I just think it's more comfortable. I think it's more effective. It's probably gonna be a little safer if you have more leverage with your poles. Drink every time I say leverage, which I'm probably not gonna say anymore because that was my entire point. Let's go on to point number 2, common but stupid beginner mistake. Number 2, I feel like I'm filling in words in an essay in high school now because I have to reach a certain, okay, anyways, stupid but common beginner backpacking mistake number 2 is attaching too much random stuff to the outside of your backpack and not packing it properly. But before I get into that, I do need to thank this video's sponsor, Drink Element. You guys need to go to drinklmnt.com/KyleHatesHiking. Do it right now, because if you do, you can get a free sample pack of Element's electrolyte drink mix. You're gonna get 8 different flavors. It's gonna keep you hydrated. It doesn't have any sugar or any BS in it. It's just good tasting drink mix. And like I said, free sample pack. You just pay the cost of shipping. It's wicked cheap. And if you're unsure about it, it's a great way to get introduced to the company, you know what I'm saying? I know a bunch of you already have gotten the free sample pack and I've gotten really good feedback about it. So I'm really stoked on it. You should go check it out. You should try all of the different flavors because they have so many crazy different flavors. They do have really standard flavors, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a standard flavor guy. I have been most of my life, but when I've tried some of these like really crazy flavors like chocolate salt, like it's opened my mind into a whole new world. And I think that's really cool that they experiment like that. You don't find many companies that do that, by the way. And honestly, guys, you don't find many companies that are willing to give away their awesome products essentially for free, just to prove to potential customers how awesome it is and how much they stand by it. So please, drinklmnt.com/KyleHatesHiking. Go get your free sample pack. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you, you're probably gonna end up ordering more. It's really awesome stuff, and I really appreciate them supporting this channel. We've done a number of videos for them now. So drinklmnt.com/KyleHatesHiking. Gonna drill that into your brain. And anyways, let's talk about attaching too much stuff to the outside of your pack. I'll admit, this one's a little bit ridiculous, kind of a stretch, but I don't know, I've just seen like so many like people on trail that they have like pots and pans hanging off their packs. I feel like that's just like so uncomfortable. Like you got things like hanging off your pack like you're trying to hike like miles. Like it's just not right. And I feel like that's so pretentious. It's not right. You know what I'm saying though? Look, it's probably not comfortable and it's probably not the best way to pack your gear either. And of course we can get into the discussion of, do they even need all those pots and pans and random things on the outside of their pack in the first place? But that's been covered pretty extensively in other videos. I won't really go down that route. I'll just say, like, chances are if you're like hanging a lot of stuff on the outside of your pack, especially if it's not even strapped down, if it's just like dangling, which you do see sometimes, if that's what you're doing, you probably want to reconsider, maybe try to find a better way to pack your bag, and I think you're gonna notice a big difference if you do that. I was talking about this with, again, my hiking partner Flossie last night, and he told me that on the AT one time, he met some guy that was carrying like a huge cast iron skillet on the outside of his backpack, and at the end of the day, this guy like used the skillet and like cooked him like a huge stir fry, and it was really sick. And anyways, I'm here to shit on that guy basically, and so yeah, do with that what you will. Let's go on to item number 3. It is really cold out here, and I feel like I'm still crying from that introduction. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna complain about the AllTrails app once again. A lot of beginners, and like I understand this one, I honestly do, they use AllTrails as like the Bible of hiking basically. Like they just do nothing but follow like AllTrails tracks and like AllTrails hikes and like read the reviews on there and stuff. And like, listen, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use AllTrails, because I know a lot of experienced hikers that do use AllTrails. My point is that AllTrails is not the only thing you can use and not the only thing you should use. There are some minor safety concerns. I've heard stories of people trying to hike a trail that is on the app, the AllTrails app, that's not actually a trail or not like a safe one anyways. But even beyond that, I just think it's just more fun and more helpful to have different ways to find hikes as well. You can use other apps. I also think it's really awesome to just know how to use a paper map. When you use AllTrails as like the only thing, you just get like sucked into these pre-planned hikes that other people have already done and other people have reviewed and uploaded reports for. And again, I'm not saying you should never do that, but it's almost an art form to open a paper map and pick your own route. Then again, if you're not super experienced, maybe you shouldn't just like pick a random spot and go there. I don't know. I'm just saying, don't rely solely on AllTrails. Maybe try to branch out a little bit, find some different apps, look at some paper maps, and you're gonna make me crap. Wait, that was terrible, wow. My parents watch this, like, they don't wanna hear me say that stuff. I don't really think I explained myself very well, but we're gonna go on to number 4, because I'm cold and I wanna finish this video. Beginner mistake number 4. And this one, I make a lot of videos about the Appalachian Trail, so this one is kind of very specific to the Appalachian Trail, or the Long Trail, or any long distance trail that has shelters and lean-tos on for hikers to stay at. This mistake is not bringing a tent or hammock or shelter with you because you intend to just rely on the lean-tos and the wooden shelters along the trail. Yeah, don't do that. And I know some of you West Coasters or some of you people that like haven't hiked on the AT like might think that's ridiculous, but I actually like know a lot of people who have gone on like the Long Trail or the AT and not brought a tent with them or a hammock because they were just like, oh, I'll just stay in the shelters. I guess sometimes you can get away with this if you're hiking in like, you know, the off season where there's not a lot of people out there. But generally speaking, it's a terrible idea to solely rely on shelter space. If you're planning a through hike of any trail with shelters on it, I'm not saying you can't stay in the shelters, but you have to have a tent or a backup or something for a number of reasons. First of all, what if the shelters are full? That happens sometimes, especially during the prime hiking season. It happens a lot, actually. And number 2, what if you don't want to camp at a shelter that night? Like, what if it just doesn't work out for your mileage? Or maybe you're like really tired and you can't hike any further, but you still have to hike further to get to the shelter you're gonna stay at because you don't have a tent. Like, you're screwed. You gotta have a tent. Like, if you had a tent in that scenario, you could just set up the tent. Let's go on to number 5. And for this one, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna refer to a post I made on my channel, getting some of my subscribers' ideas, because there was a few common themes and I ended up wanting to combine these into my last point here. And then I will also read some of the other ones as well, because there's some good ones. My post said, what are some of the most common beginner backpacking mistakes that people make? And I got this hilarious comment from somebody named Daniel Zimmerman, but it's also like has like a lot of truth in it. And so I just want to read this comment. So in response to that, he said, watching YouTubers give the 7 biggest mistakes beginners make, but then realizing another YouTuber has the top 10 mistakes beginners make. Well, there is also a list of the 5 items of gear another YouTuber wished they'd bought earlier. So he was basically kind of making fun of myself and other YouTubers who make these like constant like top 5 kinds of videos. And like, I'm honestly like very hurt by this comment, but no, it's pretty funny and it's true. And then another really good response, somebody commented on his comment Joseph P said, "You joke, but this is kind of true. People spend too much time trying to perfect everything while watching all the YouTube videos when really they need to just get out on the trail and figure things out later." As somebody who makes a lot of these ridiculous videos, like top 5 kind of videos, I agree with that comment 100%. You can only learn so much from YouTube, and I think that a big mistake that a lot of beginners make is they just, exactly what he just said, they spend so much time focusing in on all these YouTube videos, all these lists, gear lists, all these reviews, all this different stuff, and they don't really realize that the fact of the matter is you're gonna learn more, I've said this before, but you're gonna learn more from one night of backpacking than you are from 2 weeks worth of YouTube videos. It's true, and that's not to say that there's no value in these videos. Like, obviously there's some value and you should definitely subscribe. I'll be the first to admit, like, you can only learn so much from these videos. They're a good starting place. They're entertaining, I hope. Mine aren't, maybe, but I know Dan Becker's definitely are. But you know, all these types of videos from your favorite YouTubers, they're subjective. It's all personal, and everybody is gonna have a slight difference of opinion, a slight difference in experience. Anybody who claims to be the sole source of truth when it comes to anything related to backpacking is lying to you, except for me. Well, no, actually, I'm lying to you. See? As a test, I got you. A few other people expressed similar ideas in the comment thread. Brian said, "A common beginner mistake is watching YouTube and then thinking that they're qualified," which is a little bit harsh, but I think his point is just simply people thinking that they can learn everything they need to know just from watching YouTube, and that, as I just said, is not the case. This person said buying gear and watching YouTube and never getting out there to do it. Like, that's their beginner backpacking mistake. And like, I don't know, that's kind of sad. Like, I don't know if that many people just buy a bunch of gear and then never use it, but if that's the case, maybe don't do that. Maybe you should go use your gear. Alex said spending too much time on YouTube and Reddit and not actually enough time backpacking. Again, like, I'm not saying like you shouldn't watch this stuff. Like, if you find it entertaining, if you do find it helpful, that's great, but just, you don't need to like really take everything like super seriously, you know? And then Derek, of course, his common beginner mistake was just listening to YouTubers. Which I don't know if I'm gonna go that far, okay, Derek? I can't have him, that's okay. There's honestly a bunch of good ones on here. I wish I could read them all, even the ones that aren't related to my YouTube point there. Like Jenny said, a common beginner mistake is not educating themselves about leave no trace principles, which I don't really know if I would call that a mistake, because like if they're just ignorant about it, they don't know about it yet, like you can't really blame them for not knowing about something they haven't learned about yet, but that's certainly something that they should try to learn about. I would say it's more of a mistake to know about these things and not follow them, but I digress, it's still a good point. Kathy said it's a mistake to over or underestimate her ability to do big miles, something to think about. Underestimating what a trail mile is compared to a street mile and how it affects pace. All really good points. Everybody, I have the best subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate everyone's insight. I appreciate you letting me use some of it for this video. If you haven't subscribed already, maybe subscribe, you know, just maybe do that. And definitely go check out Drink Element. Thanks for sponsoring the video, Drink Element. They've been hooking it up, guys. I love my sponsors. I don't have many at all. Have a good holiday. Wait, it's probably over by the time you see this. Have a good Christmas.